surmounted, some are yet to be surmounted. But life goes on and things will always continue to move. My name is Omololu Sonwo again, and I welcome you to Talk Point on Lagos Television. My guest today is a social affairs commentator and also an elder who can also give insight into what happened pre-independence and post-independence. Please welcome Temilade Oladele. Nice to have you on Talk Point.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you heard what I said in that introduction. You are old enough to give us insights, to give us experience of what happened before independence, and even as we have finished independence, we're still going up, and there are certain things. But when you heard of Nigeria first going to have independence, you may be a little younger then or so. What was that feeling like, the nostalgic feelings at that moment?
The feeling then was that Nigeria will be having freedom to operate, to administer their affairs, to be on their own, to stand on their feet, to be able to handle their resources according to their needs. And that was, in fact, the import of the fathers of independence, that took, instead of colonial masters running our affairs, can't we run our affairs together? And looking at the system in Nigeria, even pre-amalgamation, we have our own our own native culture that was so much that has created our respect. Whereas the colonial master came, they started administering us through divide and rule, and that was in fact where they started dividing Nigeria to pieces. And the effect of that time is still what we are facing till today. So when the idea of independence was coming on board then, it was to have a Nigeria of our own, a united front, even though we have different diversities, but we are to draw strength from our diversities. And it started where? After the first and second National Development Plan, there was a goal, there was a divine goal. But somehow along the line, the execution of these development plans were jettisoned. And from there, we started having problems from one government to the other till today. So we don't even know whether there's a development plan in Nigeria today now. Everyone is coming in maybe to take the national cake, and the national cake is becoming drier and drier. So the vision to really concentrate on the essence of having an independence seems not to be in progress for today in the way we run our system. But however, I would say, let us be positive about Nigeria. When we don't see good things in this country, nothing will break. Because we are all Nigerians. So, but when we see things in the positive dimension, it becomes easy for us to even move forward. But when we are coined with negativity all the time, then we will not be able to think right. We will believe that everything cannot work. But we should also understand that we are people. Nigeria is a many country in one society. So many, because our diversities, ethnicity, religion, we are a single nation.
Yes, just like I said some days back, the entity Nigeria comprises of various ethnic groups, just like you said. And I recall that Niger area was the name that formed Nigeria from the wife of Lord Lugard, Flora Shaw, who said the Niger area, and at the end of the day, it was coined to be Nigeria. Yeah, we will now call it Nigeria. But you mentioned something which I'd like us to really emphasize on, and that has to do with, you said we should be positive rather than being negative. If you're saying positive, in what light are we looking at?
Now, in the area of development, everyone must be, all hands must be on deck. And economic development, political development, and socio-cultural development. In fact, we have even eroded our culture and living in the culture of others. The colonial culture that we are made as if it's our culture, are made our rich culture, our custom, to become nothing. But when you look at our culture, despite our diversities, very rich, very articulate, and have potential for development that can make current reality. So when we begin to see, okay, since we are multi-cultural society, now we have to begin to look at where are the things that combine us together, instead of laboring ourselves on the things that divide us. Now, let's say, okay, the North, the South, the East, we have common factors. We have things that can make us to grow together. After all, we are living together. But when it comes to power, I think power also is a very key element of this disintegration that has happened in our time. Like I used to tell people, go to the marketplace. Hausa man is there, selling meat. Igbo man is there, selling maybe pharmaceutical whatever. Yoruba man is there, selling yam. You will not say because this person is an Hausa, I'm not going to buy his meat. You are not going to say because this person is Igbo, I'm not going to get the dog you need from the pharmacist. You are not, the other one will not say because this is Yoruba, and they are not going to buy the yam from Yoruba. We live together. But when it comes to issue of politics, that is where we are divided. When it comes to issue of religious, at times, we're supposed to even be a showcase for development. Issues are coming on board. So until we begin to see ourselves, that one unity we are talking about, until we begin to see ourselves from the positive perspective, an Hausa man is my man, a Yoruba man is my man, an Igbo man is my man, we begin to see ourselves as one. The unity will just be a wishful thinking. But when we begin to put it to action, it is not enough to say, but it is more important to act on what we claim to be. And that was the vision of our fathers of independence.
Yes, I was just coming to that because the founding fathers of Nigeria, the Nnamdi Azikiwes, the Awolowos, the Sardauna of Sokoto, all of them had that vision for a better Nigeria, and the level of patriotism was very, very high. Now, if you look at that, can't we imbibe those good values, those things that will actually change in line with what you have just said, leveraging on our advantages, on our unity in diversity to make the difference, rather than using ethnicity or religion to divide us?
Now, because of power tussle, we have already eroded that one. For example, that time, they were able to control themselves and put themselves under caution. But presently, the way we have administered our polity had made things difficult. Even the younger ones coming, I cannot really say whether they have been able to see us as model for development. What I mean by that is, what are they really learning from us? Can they say they are learning discipline, hard work, and all of those values that make a man to be a real man? It's all this smart game, all these shortcuts that we see. And I was listening to whereby I think there was a cry from one of the universities that somebody who had A in all the secondary school subjects qualified to enter into the university and graduated, only to be in the workplace, cannot even make a simple statement within.
You mean what you're saying is that somebody got A's, eighth grade at the school side level,
yes,
and got a job,
went to university,
yes, got a job,
and skate through, and only to get to the job place could not perform.
Is that not a clear case of buying through?
That is the thing.
Because if you have A's, it is expected that your
extraordinary
brain, yes. So that means we're using mediocrity over meritocracy.
That is it.
And that is one of the things that may be affecting or is even affecting us in virtually every sphere.
As it is affecting us now, we are now building a bombshell for future because it's now becoming norms under the pretense we don't even respect excellence. Otherwise, what we do now is affluence and opulence. Those who actually merit, who actually achieve excellence through hard work, they are no place to be found because they are no godfatherism. But those, in fact, where you have to be begging those who are there today, get to the workplace, you see the performances. You begin to wonder that, is it not this same country whereby you have to do extra work to merit credit or to merit, distinction or to be recognized for a honor? I could remember while I was doing my NYC those days, right, the fact that I was posted to a village and in fact a government school, I had a state award. In fact, if not for location of where I was serving, by our performance, I was told that I merited a national award. I mean, even at a village, we were able to serve our fatherland. But these days now, you need to see the trouble NYC is passing through. Buy in. Nobody is ready to put diligence, hard work, integrity, dignity. Nobody, they are no longer. In fact, when you are talking of these ones, they will tell you are old school. You are old school. So our life has changed. What is it that has changed outside integrity? What is it that has changed outside dignity? What is it that has changed outside hard work? A hard-working person will get a good success. There are so many, maybe as a pastor, I'm being thrilled when the Bible was saying Joshua will have a good success. It did not say we have success. The word good was used as an adjective to qualify success. It's not every success that is success.
Even at that, yes, you're a pastor, you're thinking in that light. Even the Quran too talks about making good, being good, dignifying yourself.
Yes.
Why are we now tilting? Why are we changing? Is it the society that is changing us, or because of the level of corruption? Because that is also another factor caused by the Nigerians themselves, parents who are not allowing their wards or their children to go through the right process to make it in life.
That is the thing. You see, that is why even in our educational institutions, particularly the private owned institution, governments still need to be on their neck. It is not you want to send children to school for value, to become leaders of tomorrow. But the moment they made their money, the moment they have paid their school fees, do all of these things, anything can happen. And therefore, they are not having value. They are not getting what it requires to get the good success I mentioned. Like I could remember, by the grace of God, while I was in secondary school, we were offering 18 subjects. I would become first in a 16 subject, second in one, and third in the other one. But there was a sacrifice. The sacrifice was that I will put my leg inside water so that I will not sleep in the night.
That really worked. Did that really work?
And then put we are using electricity, this hurricane lamp, and the rest. If I'm sleeping, the water, if I want to sleep, I will cram all my notes, word to word. The moment question comes out, back to sender. I'll give it back to the lecturer. If I remember, it was very funny. I think that was general science. We were one of my classmates. I used points, the teacher gave me 0.25 to taste first in that subject. And what happened? Where the teacher put comma, I put comma, but my other friend did not put comma there. And that was where I scored 0.5 ahead of him.
Yes, okay, yeah. What you mentioned also brings us to what happens presently, even in the media space and everywhere. Even when we're talking our children or the younger ones who are now graduates are now writing, they seem to be leaving out what we call punctuation marks, which are very, very vital. The role of the comma is different, the role of the semicolon, the role of the full stop, which makes different meaning to things. But now you just see that people just write, and then the SMS too has not helped us. You're abbreviating. You're not, you are not thinking of your brain to write the correct spelling. So those things too, are they not factors?
They are actually factors. That is what they are doing now is education of the brain and no longer the education of the heart. The education of the heart will give you opportunity to apply all these things intellectually. But the education of the brain is cognitive, just theoretical. As it is given to you, you download. You are no longer taking time to really read in between the line. What is the letter of the word and what is the spirit of the word? They are no longer there. It's just one straight jacket, and that is it all. Meanwhile, a hard-working, let me say, student now, we need to go through all these things. What does this thing mean? Why is this punctuation here? What is the next thing to achieve? Why is it full stop here? Why is it comma here? They all have meaning. But ask our present day generation, the moment they just put it through, like through the online as mentioned. But that online, as good as it is.
The social media, you mean?
The social media was as good as it is. We still need to imbibe some of the orthodox way of learning, whereby you have to study. Do they even go to library these days again to go and really study the books, to learn from this thing? And some of these things we Google. Some of them also are questionable because there's nobody that is an epitome of knowledge. But when you go to library, if you are not getting this one right, then you contact, you get to another book, you try to look at, you compare notes. But the Google or the social media thing is just one straight jacket. So that's about. So for us going forward in Nigeria, let us look at what is it that the fathers of independence, what was actually their vision? Have we been able to achieve that vision? If we are not able to achieve, if we are not achieving the vision, where did we get it wrong? Let us identify where the problem actually, pop up. And the moment we're able to identify, if you don't know a problem, you cannot think of solution. So if we're able to know where we have gotten it wrong, and what have made us to get it wrong, then we'll now begin to look at variables, factors, with which we can bring in development. Like I pity the younger ones. I used to say it. What is it that they actually learn from us? A long time ago, I think maybe name with said that Nigeria is there is a generation that is a wasteful generation. That language seems to be offensive then. But when we look at it critically, what value have I delivered to these younger ones coming?
Okay, if you are saying that, are we not culpable? Are we not, as leaders or as elderly ones, are we not supposed to impart or instill this knowledge either forcefully onto the younger generation so that they can see the benefits and the value system that comes with it?
The civilization has stopped us from that. When what we call civilization has demoralized a lot of values. In the sense that, for example, discipline starts from home. A situation whereby they are promulgated a law. There's a level with which you can scold your children. There's a level with which you can talk to them. And they will just quote one law. And what has happened is that even those who are promulgating laws today now, these are the unparented parents. And they are now already in power. So things that they cannot do, and they think that they are so obnoxious to them, they are now institutionalizing them, they are now constitutionalizing them, and they are now pushing it to the world as constitution to follow. A situation whereby you say if a father should slap a child for misconduct, I think I'm aware there is a law. Now the child now can now take the father to the court. Where is that discipline? In fact, I remember in my own time, if for any reason my father is talking against a particular child, the mother will be shivering at this thing, because it is believed that the mother take more care of the children than the father, and any error you find in the child is being considered as a product of the mother. So the mother will always be, look, if I see you do anything funny, that will bring me out.
Or report it to your father.
Or report to your father or
your
that
teacher.
the community people.
But yes, because there used to be discipline there. The level is dropping now. How can we change it as we continue to round up now?
Okay, the way we can change it is, one, we have to begin to cultivate the art of discipline, the culture of discipline, the culture of merit, whereby those who merited the excellence, the honor, are given, not buying in. There are many intelligent ones out there, but there is no space for them because of this godfatherism or whatever. You know, either he knows it or not, my child must be there. This thing, they actually they have a long-run effect against our social-cultural value, our economic value, and all other facets of the nation.
Okay, I'm afraid time is no longer on our side. I would have loved us to really talk more on this, but time is not on our side. Now, let me just give you 30 seconds to advise the government on how to do things right.
Well, I want to encourage the government that they should not relent on their efforts in doing what is right. And the only way they can do what is right is to also ensure that individual is not stronger than the system or the constitution. If the system is defining every individual, this thing we are talking about will fall in place. But whereby an individual is more powerful than the system, you can't get development. So government must be sensitive that at every segment of the economy, of the politics, no individual is superior to the system or the constitution. That is my advice.
Yes, I want to thank you so much. We've been talking on Nigeria 62, and we're looking at issues connected with governance and national development. I've been talking to Mr. Oladele Temilade, a social affairs commentator and also a family coach. Thank you so much for being part of Talk Point.
God bless you. Thank you.
On that note, we've come to the end of Talk Point. 767 and 112 are still the lines. Always call in times of emergency. Stay out of trouble. Ensure that you be patriotic so that you can contribute your quota to the development of Nigeria. God bless Nigeria and God bless you.